everybody, and welcome to the Red Bull Ring for TCR Unboxed after round 5 of what has been an incredible championship season. Coming into the weekend, no less than 19 drivers were in contention for our 2025 championship. Let's find out who had the most successful time here in Austria. Victor Andersson is one of the up-and-coming stars of TCR Europe, and we took an opportunity to speak to him and his father Matthias about what it's like to run a family team in TCR Europe. Let's find out what they have to say.
Yeah, my name is Victor Andersson, 22 years old from Sweden.
Your third season of touring car racing. Why touring cars?
Yeah, it is my third season in touring cars. I did karting when I started with the sport, and then advanced up to Formula cars in Sweden, then later actually in America, and now touring cars. I think the biggest point probably why I'm doing touring cars is my father has a big background in touring cars in Sweden, and yeah, we have a lot of probably knowledge in that sense, and also some connections, and it's been with me quite all my life, I think, touring car racing in some way.
Yeah, my name is Matthias Andersson and I'm 52 years old.
You have a very successful career and now you're watching your son race. What's that like?
Yeah, it's quite different from driving by myself. I've driven in the motorsport business for 40 years, more than 700 races in America, Europe, and mostly in Sweden the last 22 years. So quite a lot of races, but now when you're sitting on the sideline and try to help Victor with sponsors, engineering, all kind of things, it's you get more nervous on the side than when I was driving myself, but you have the same heart rate almost on the start line as you have on the side. Yeah.
Now that's a great thing, but also a difficult thing as well, because you've got a lot to live up to in the Andersson name. What's that pressure like as a driver?
For me, I think it's the Andersson name is more of in Sweden probably more of a strength. I think you get recognized on circuits, especially in Sweden, and now we are racing in Europe. But of course, some people may recognize my father, and I think it's not a bad thing. But of course, you want to be even better than he was.
And obviously, as the team manager now, running your son, does that add an extra pressure, because it's not just a business relationship, it's family as well?
Yeah, we do this. I don't have a racing team to earn money, because that's is the wrong business for me then. So I do this because we love the sport and I want to help Victor, of course. And of course it's easier to pay the money to another team and sit on the grandstand and watch, but this is a way to be able to race more races with maybe the same budget and do it by yourself. But as Victor also probably told you, that this is when we have the success, it's even more fun when you know all the mechanics like a big family.
And speaking of the mechanics, if you can just explain to our audience, who makes up MAGP? Who are the team members? Yeah,
it's a small family team. We are quite old, all of us, except Victor. My father, Victor's grandfather, is more than 18 years old, and he's still on site every race and driving the truck many kilometers on the way in Europe. And then we also have some other team members that have been with me for more than 20 years, helping me and do this because they love the sport and love the adventure, now traveling in Europe and try to have some success here also.
What is the best thing about racing in a family-run team, and what would be the worst thing?
The best thing is when we have success, and we are even not all of us are blood related. We are like a proper big family when we're out traveling Europe. So yeah, when we have the success, it's just yeah, seeing all the smiles on every team member when we have a good race.
And my final question, who's the better touring car driver?
We haven't raced against each other. He's probably quicker now if we jump in this afternoon, but I have to say we have to try one day.
4 different pole position sitters from 4 rounds in TCR Europe. Heading in to the Red Bull Ring, can we make it 5 from 5? Let's find out.
Yeah, I mean, it feels great here in Red Bull Ring. Never been before. Incredible track. Very, very complicated because you have everything fast and slow corners. So really, really happy about the result.
So then, a debut pole position for Eric Gené, the young 18-year-old Spaniard, will start from the front of the grid for race number 1. The big question is, can he convert it into a race victory? Qualifying is one thing, racing is an entirely different beast indeed. Let's find out what happened in the opening race of the 2025 Red Bull Ring weekend. Eric Gené begins the first race on pole position alongside Nicholas Taylor, while down in 8th, Raphael Fournier gets a poor start away from the line, swallowed up by the pack as they head into the famed T1 here at the Red Bull Ring. Track limits would be the order of the day for several of our drivers, using all of the racetrack and a little bit more in their efforts to make it through a stacked field of TCR Europe competitors. For the run up to the T3 hairpin, many thought this would be a pinch point in the opening laps. For the likes of TCR Europe returnee René Kirscher, that would be exactly the case. Contact for the ALM driver alongside Nico Beldan would earn him a 5-second time penalty at the conclusion of the race. While Julien Brichet explores the racing circuit limits, there would be further drama in the middle of the pack. Jacobo Jimenez tapped into a spin, returns into the racing surface, and heavy contact for several drivers behind. Yunui Park of the Solite Indigo Racing Squad being one of those drivers most severely affected. With the racing circuit blocked, the red flag would inevitably waved, and we took our time to unpick some of the dramas of what was a terrifying accident seen here again. Yunui Park making heavy contact, Felipe Fernandez as well, with the stranded Jacobo Jimenez. Unfortunately for Jimenez and Park, that would spell the end of their participation in the Red Bull weekend here in TCR Europe. A long delay to clear several stricken cars. Eventually, we returned to racing action, and it would be that man, Eric Gené, that leads the field away from Nick Taylor behind. Marco Butti in 3rd position would be keen to snap on the heels of his Canadian rival in his bid to move up the running order. Several drivers were displaced in qualification, and several drivers far outperformed their machinery over the Red Bull weekend, one of which would be the Claret Sport squad. Having a difficult time in qualification, brothers Jimmy and Teddy did well to work their way through the order and predominantly stay out of trouble in this opening race encounter. Staying out of trouble would be the order of the day, as there we see Jimmy and Santiago Concepcion making light contact. No harm, no foul in touring car parlance. That was a position gained on that occasion for Jimmy, as a little bit further down the running order, Max Hart has a go at the number 33, successful on this occasion as Victor Andersson nibbles his way past as well in the MAGP Lincoln Co machine. At the front of the pack though, Eric Gené was looking increasingly comfortable. The same cannot be said for Nick Taylor, coming under increasing pressure from Marco Butti as our newly crowned Diamond Trophy champion Victor Fernandez makes contact with TCR Europe debutant Gabriele Corvini, and a returning Giacomo Gamandi is overtaken here around the outside by Julien Brichet before the contact between the pair of them. Brichet does a great job to hold on to the bright blue Hyundai Elantra machine. Unfortunately for his teammate Raphael Fournier, also contact himself a little bit further through the field. Fournier very much a baptism of fire as he comes in for his debut weekend at TCR Europe, while Eric Gené takes his debut race victory in the category. Pole position and race win For the Spanish driver, that will go a long way to boosting his championship challenge and laying a very firm marker in the sand for his rivals that this is a young man that's got eyes on the biggest prize in the category.
It was great. I mean, hope all the races I win is like this, as this comfortable. No, I mean, it was a really hard race to manage because I had, in my case, a bit of degradation, so I had to manage. But it's true that it was more easy because we didn't have any battle with Taylor and Booty, that they were really, really fast. So I think it was an interesting race for my side. First win in the TCR Europe, really, really happy. Second one of the year, of my season. So really, really happy with the result.
Ayrton Senna is a legend of Formula One, and Target Competition are a legend of TCR. So we took the opportunity to have a word with their driver, Max Hart, and the team about just what it's like to compete in TCR Europe.
My name's Max Hart, I'm 24 years old, I'm from Ireland, in Wicklow. I'm racing for Target Competition this year in TCR Europe.
Talk a little bit about your season, please, Max. It's been up and down. You've had a race victory, you've had some controversies. How's it gone so far?
Yeah, my race season has been extremely up and down. Compensation weight in Misano definitely wasn't a help for our results. Hockenheim was obviously a fantastic weekend for me, a win and a second. Couldn't really ask for better than that. And this weekend we're looking a lot better for Austria ahead, and yeah, I think we can get some good results here.
Hello, my name is Carlos Recio. I come from Spain, and I am the Max Hart engineer in TCR Europe.
So you work with Max closely. What's it like to work with a driver of this caliber?
Well, one thing that I appreciate a lot from Max, it's about how he does his feedback after driving the car and giving us all the impression about how the car is behaving. And also that he's listening a lot about all what we are trying to help him. And also that on track, as far as I see in this season, he's doing a very, very good performance, especially about doing all the overtaking very clean, and also his understanding all the changes that we're doing in the car is something that I appreciate a lot from him.
And talking about the racing itself, we've seen some incredible battles in 2025. Some personal highlights from your point of view?
The racing highlights, I think, from my point of view, I've had some, I suppose my overtake for the lead in Hockenheim, that was a special one for me. I planned it well ahead. I knew after the safety car restart that with the move I was going to make and where it was going to be, and I knew it was going to be on that first lap if I had any chance of winning. So that overtake would be a highlight for me. I suppose yesterday I had a really good overtake in race 1 here in Austria. I was able to do a nice overtake into turn 3, but maybe the best is still to come.
Absolutely. And final question, Target Competition, obviously a very well-known team. What's it like to drive for a well-known squad like this?
Driving for Target Competition is amazing. You know, they are incredibly professional. The team I have around me is like a family now. They're really good at pushing me along, but also making sure we're getting the maximum out of the car, which is really important for us as drivers to make sure that we can progress and also get the understanding of how the car works, and that's something that they focus on a lot.
Tell me the thing that you enjoy the most about working for Target Competition.
Well, I've been working in motorsport since 2013, and always I have the same target. It's been my main skill, I would say, that is passion, because I love racing, and this is in relationship because what the most I like is the relationship with the driver, because I would like to be a driver, but I couldn't. So actually what I like the most is to speak with them, to help them, to feel like during the weekend I'm part of them, and I feel very, very good when I feel that I'm helping them. So it's the most I like, and also the team building about we are a group of friends, okay? We have not came here to be friends, but actually we became friends, all of us, so it's the nicest. And also the international environment also is really nice.
Eric Gené won the opening race of the weekend from pole position. The big question is, can he do it again in race 2? Starting from 10th, it's going to be a tall order for the young Spanish driver, and this could be an opportunity for Jimmy Claret to regain that championship lead. Let's find out all that happened from the second and final race of the weekend here at the Red Bull Ring. Jimmy Claret would start from the reverse grid pole position for race number 2 at the Red Bull Ring, but it would be all eyes on young Irishman Max Hart, the target competition Hyundai Elantra N TCR driver, showing great aggression from the line, seen here all the way around the outside of the Audi Sport driver into T1. It wouldn't work on that occasion for Max Hart. However, the drag up the hill would prove another great opportunity to wrestle away the early race lead held by Frenchman Jimmy Claret. One way and then the other goes Hart, but he's unable to find a Hyundai Elantra N TCR size gap, and if anything, opens the door to a fast-started Jenson Brickley behind. As the TCR Europe field fan out across the Red Bull Ring racetrack, it would be this move that would be decisive for the young British driver. Jenson Brickley, committed to the inside, takes that second position away as further back, teammate Eric Gené making light work of one of the Honda Civic cars behind. Eric Gené would be on a recovery charge and showing great aggression, as Gabriele Corvini also shows aggression, perhaps slightly misplaced on this occasion. Contact between himself and Johnson Park in the Solite Indigo Racing Hyundai Elantra ahead. That wouldn't be the end of the drama for Corvini. It wouldn't be the end of the drama for Santiago Concepcion. Around the outside of René Kirscher, contact between the two cars into T9. Concepcion does a fantastic job to hold on to his machine not once but twice as he almost drops the car on corner exit. René Kirscher not afraid to get the elbows out and his return to TCR Europe. This fight continued all the way up the hill into turn 1, but Kirscher deciding perhaps on this occasion there's not quite enough room to go side by side for now. Jenson Brickley, though, no such dramas. He finds some room and he takes the race lead. Jimmy Claret pushed to the outside of the racetrack. Brickley in the Monlau Motorsports Cupra is a drag race down to the next section of corners. This would be some beautiful aggression from the English driver, made all the more difficult by Max Hart trying to find a way past the number 21. Hart would paint himself to the rear bumper of the Monlau Motorsports Cupra. Side by side we go, exchanging paint and wing mirrors with Jimmy Claret. It would be now Brickley in the race lead, Hart in second position, but really fancying his chances around the outside of the number 246. On this occasion, though, enthusiasm overcame grip, and that little wobble would be enough to open the door again for the 21 to slide back into second position and bring with him to the party a very enthusiastic Marco Butti. He doesn't have a bottle of wine for the invitation, but what he does have is a whole load of aggression. The Italian driver following through around the outside line, can't quite make it a stick on this occasion. Max Hart just holds on to that position, but what it does do, it brings Eric Gené into the fight. Our new championship leader, well and truly game on. Unfortunately for Victor Fernandez, almost contact with Raphael Fournier, turns into contact with Johnson Park. Front left damage to the MAGP Lincoln Co. would spell the end of his day's racing. Fournier didn't get away with it, second time of asking. Contact with Claret there, but some great car control as the foot is planted firmly to the bulkhead. Safety car intervention to remove the stricken MAGP machine would bring a small halt to proceedings, but back under green flag racing conditions once again. And Jenson Brickley leads away the pack from Jimmy Claret and Marco Butti behind. Max Hart still holding on to that fourth position, but coming under increasing pressure from Eric Gené behind. That pressure would turn into a potential overtake. Gené throwing the nose to the inside of the Hyundai Elantra N driver. On this occasion at least, not quite finding the real estate to make the pass stick. Marco Butti, though, no such problems. To the inside of second base man Jimmy Claret, a little bit of touring car rat-a-tat-tat, and it would be the 111 of Butti that moves up into second place. Our pole position sitter dropping down to the provisional bottom step of the podium as we're headed in to the all-important and crucial final lap of racing action, while Jenson Brickley at the head of the pack will serenely take the car to a checkered flag and his second race victory of the season. There would be controversy further back. From third position going into the final lap, Jimmy Claret would end his day in the gravel and absolutely ignite the championship standings coming in to the final round of the season at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia. A despondent Frenchman then with controversy and dramas at the end of the race. The 10-second time penalty would drop Eric Gené from the points, but Jenson Brickley, only thing he'd be dropping today would be victory points at the head of the field. A dominant performance from the English driver.
Yeah, second win of the season, really happy with that. Yeah, like after yesterday with the penalty after the race, obviously a bit disheartened last night, decided to reset and full focus on the race today. I knew I had a chance starting from P4, got a good start off the line, and yeah, did Max into turn 3. Then it was all about pushing Jimmy, trying to make him make a mistake, but yeah, he didn't really make any mistakes, and I saw where I was faster than him, did a little dive bomb into turn 3 and played off perfectly into the lead. From there it was about managing, and I think we had a pretty nice gap until the safety car. So then it was focused on get a good safety car restart, which again I did. So yeah, overall perfect race.
Well, the adverts say Red Bull gives you wings. One thing I can say for sure is the Red Bull Ring gives us great TCR touring car racing. It's been a fantastic weekend here in Austria. And as we finish filming, we're not quite sure how many cars are in contention for the championship. There may be a few stewards' inquiries after that final race. Make sure you check it all out on social media. Thank you very much for watching TCR Unboxed and the weekend of the 26th and 27th September. Barcelona seems like a great place to be as we decide our 2025 championship. Thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye. 2 races are all that separate these 12 drivers in mathematical contention for the 2025 TCR Europe Drivers' Championship crown. The Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia is the location. The 26th to the 27th of September is the date where we crown a brand new TCR Europe champion. You're not going to want to miss it.